Time for some more Create Astral. That last minute or so snuck up on me. I was playing around with Streamlabs bot stuff. Okay, so let's get on the server. Let's get into some more Create Astral. Real soon now. There we go. All right. Right. Simon here. Okay. Got Dadbot also on the server. What are we doing today? I don't know. Probably sleeping right now. Monsters nearby. Yeah, there's a cave under the front of this build. This is not my first time on the server today. I was on it earlier. On a couple times over the weekend, actually. And I had today off of work. Because I always take my birthday off of work, so among other things, got on and did some prep stuff. We got some compost and lots of materials to make more. I think we are waiting on bone meal. But that's kind of been a side project here, is over down on the river. I've been planting rice and keeping this chunk loaded and using that to get lots of straw, keeping this busy with processing logs as well for tree bark, and we're gonna get a lot of compost. I think maybe last stream I talked a little bit about what the purpose of that was, and all of this clear glass. We got like 1,500, 3, 6, 9, 12,000 clear glass here, thereabouts. I think I talked about the idea of working on some farms. I think maybe last time I was talking about doing like a bigger tree farm. And then, yeah, so tree farm. I also have a, one of the designs that I worked on while relaxing and catching up on some other videos that I wanted to watch over the weekend was designing a bigger kelp farm and some zinc automation. So we have the thing over yonder that is almost producing. I mean, it is producing copper and tin. Just needs a train to pick it up and deliver it somewhere. So we're making progress towards having fully automated brass, which is a big step. And I have had a design for a factory that makes brass ingots and brass casings and copper casings and some other stuff. I've had that for a while. We've just not really been set up to have the resources to use it. So we're making progress. I have felt of late that progress has not been made at the pace that I would like. And part of that is, we have a lot of little things for automation, but we need to start looking at scaling up to be able to have the things necessary to be able to do bigger builds and more stuff, which is what I want to do. So we're gonna look at the plan here in a few moments. Just thinking if there's anything else I want to cover before we do that. Things are mostly as they were from the last stream, I think, though. Lava train is still going. Looks like we have a different conductor. Wonder how that happened. I can guess. Some train shenanigans occurred. been working on cleaning up the copper that was thrown down before. And I did add a buffer to the output lines over here for the raw copper and tin, so they can be buffered up and we're not fully backed up like we were over there before. Anything else of note? I think I ran some 1 or 2 loads of bone meal over to the factory. But we do need a better source of bone meal, and kind of the plan has been for a while now to make a kelp factory and use that to make bone meal. And we can do that, although if we make a bigger tree farm, we may also use leaves and saplings from that to also make more bone meal. So we'll see. We'll see how that actually unfolds. I also have a schematic here. It tells you what it is, an underground train yard. Well, a underground. So maybe we'll do that today. Yeah, I think, so let's look at the plan. So there's some things that I wanted to do today, or try to work towards, that'll be good. The passenger train, it's not going to help us with automation or anything else, but we have all these train lines. We have this fancy train station. I would like a better passenger train. I have a design for one that I did up a week or 2 ago. And we can work on getting blocks for that while we're also maybe doing other things. We'll see. Underground train yard. So one of the things I've been thinking about in terms of expanding is we don't have like a good place to actually like build trains and set them up. Like what we had been doing in the past is using this section of rail here, but it's kind of in the way. And so I would like a dedicated place for just like building trains, and also potentially maybe moving the loading and unloading. Like if we at some point use more of this workshop build as more fully automated factory stuff. Like we have this whole floor up here. There's lots of possibilities, but we'll need ways to load and unload trains. And I think, honestly, at some point someone was asking me how I wanted to do the trains, and you know, we could do like above ground trains, or like ground level trains, or underground trains. And I think I said ground level, and we've been doing a lot of that. But I think if we're going to do more stuff up here on the hill that's going to involve the trains picking up or delivering resources, that underground will probably be pretty convenient and do more vertical stuff there. So we'll see. But that's what this schematic is for. I mean, technically it's not an underground. It's designed as an underground railroad, just in that it's got these columns in the design, so it'll look cool if it's underground build. So I think the advantage of getting that started like real soon is that most of what the schematicannon is going to do is just going to be voiding blocks, and that'll take time, but we don't need resources to do that other than gunpowder. Speaking of which, how much gunpowder do we have? Something I don't think I've looked at. We got 16. All right, do we have kelp? We have some dried kelp blocks. So I think it's dried kelp, right, that goes into the grinder? Yes. So we can make some more gunpowder. This is the grinder, right? So we're gonna unlock that. I guess it doesn't need to be locked. Are you okay? One second. Do I not have game sounds? Oh, I do. Okay. It's very quiet for me. I wonder how well that shows up on or is audible on stream. Hopefully it's okay. Although the grinder sounds kind of annoying anyway, so not missing out. Anyway, so plan. So, underground train yard, passenger train, expand kelp farm. So, this is going to be challenging because I have a very big build to produce lots of kelp. We can look at that in a little bit. But it's going to need quite a lot of resources that we may not be able to gather everything today. There are some other things that we can work on as well in terms of working on the clay factory, because that's still outstanding from last time around, and adding more train bays and dealing with being able to load like the cobblestone and the bone meal from trains, presuming we have a way of getting the bone meal there. And doing so over in the factory over yonder where we were working last time, we set up the lava loading so that it would pause while the lava is loading from the train and not send any to the factory. We might want to do that same setup elsewhere as well, so we can work on that. That should be more than enough stuff. Almost time to sleep. More than enough stuff to cover in our time together, our time on the stream today. Okay. So first things first. Do we have? Okay, that should be enough gunpowder for the job at hand. Grab our schematicannon box. And probably want the train tracks, and yeah, just thinking about the things that we'll need at hand for the train yard. Okay, so let's check this out. So the rough idea I have is the train yard is, let me actually show. Oh right, hold on. That's right, I updated the schematic. So let me get the schematic table down, and we'll update the schematic because it is now out of date. There we go. 1A underground train yard V2 is the new one. And the main thing that changed is that the original design, the floor of it was the pavement blocks, but that's pretty expensive to do right now because I don't have a fully automated setup to do that. So instead, let's see, where can I put this down so we can actually see it? So to give you a sense, okay, there's a point in which I'm no longer inside of the box, and then I have to scroll the opposite way to move it. So there we go. How far can we move this to see? Scroll. Yeah. It is not so great on frame rates when you have a big preview like this. But yeah, so this is, I mean, it's not a lot, right? It's just a bunch of tracks and some columns. But what this should represent is the schematiccannon voiding all the blocks for us. I think it'll work that way. We're gonna find out. So there we go. Get those frames back. So that'll be the plan. Oh, I scrolled over it. Can't do that. All right, and this is the material checklist for it. Oh, it's out of date. Yeah, so anyway, we are going to grab, so we're going to figure out where we're going to put it, and then set up some chests, because I think I should have some chests in the green box. Yes, great. And then we'll figure out where we're going to get all the materials. Mostly it's cobblestone. The design has one layer of floor in it, and it's a chipped variant of cobblestone, so it's very inexpensive to build. I think I'll just walk. I won't take the car. It'll be kind of awkward to get down here. So I think a week or two ago, I took the minecart contraption, the tunnel bore, and did a tunnel underneath the existing track and underneath the house there, and all the way through the hill to the other side. So in other words, like from here all the way through out to here. And I was thinking somewhere in here would be a good place to put the train station. Now this needs to be low enough that the top of the space doesn't poke through the top of the hill into the existing builds. It needs to be far enough that we can have like probably past here. So maybe somewhere like here would be good as a start. I don't know if I want the train. I probably at some point will unclaim these chunks. So we might want the train, like the yard to be like here, maybe? I know I put a waypoint over here, but maybe off to the side over to this way. Which will be good. Let's try some stuff out. So if we click over here. Yeah. And move up. There we go. So now that'll be the level of the track. Okay, let's move it that way. Okay, so now we can see where the real floor is and where the projection is. Which way does this go? Is this turned around? It's hard to tell. Ah, there. Now we can scroll that way. Great. Okay, so this is... Okay, I think we want to rotate this then. And then... it's quite long, no? That is a cool effect. The Z fighting between the projected area and the actual floor. Okay, so let's move this way. There should be some tracks here. So I was thinking that we'd have something like this. And the reason I put this tunnel here specifically is because this lines up with the outer edge of the turnaround, the roundabout down here. So we could have this part of the rail continue up this way so that this train coming this way can either choose to go straight or go off to the side and come up through the underground. So that's the idea. And so this positioning would then line up the entrance to this train yard like this, and then it will have several basically it goes off to the side and then it diverges several times, giving several independent tracks for either building or editing trains or perhaps for loading and unloading stations. And then I think we would need some kind of turnaround at some point on the other side. So what I want to do now is I want to come up and endure the choppy frames. I don't know how well that comes across on screen, but it's but it's very noticeable to me. So we'll try to get through this quickly. I just want to see it pokes through there, unfortunately. So we probably want to just push it down further. Like, we can't move it left or right without losing the alignment. But maybe we just push it all the way into the hill so that nothing is poking out. Because the intent is wherever the schematic is right now, that is where we're going to void any place that's air in the schematic. We're going to replace with air when we have it go. But I think this will be fine because it's low enough that it's not sticking up through, hello mobs, through any of this. And we're just going up from here, right? So this should be real safe. Okay, so we're going to go with this. Just kind of try to dodge. Well, the train took care of that zombie for us. Alright. Just gotta make our way back to... I guess technically I can... If I throw it on the ground, there we go, it stops. And as long as I don't hover over it, hover over it in the hotbar, then frame problems will go away. Okay, so we can go back down. We're gonna put down the schematicannon. I guess we're gonna have to look at it again briefly to make sure we don't put the schematicannon inside of where the thing is, the area of effect. And we'll put down schematicannon and some chests, and maybe I think a thing to do, since I think the thing that's going to take the longest is just like getting rid of the blocks. What we could do is have the schematicannon go and just have it skip blocks it doesn't have. All right. Oh, yeah. It's a big area. Okay. So right over here is the start. So if you look at the map of where we're at. Okay. I guess that is fine. So what we're going to do, throw that on the ground. Get our schematicannon box out. We're going to get schematicannon and some gunpowder. Okay, add a gunpowder. We'll start with 15. Let's start with 10. And then skip missing blocks. Protect talents, these just in case I've misunderstood the placement. Replace solid with empty. Right? Cannon will clear out all blocks in the working area, including those replaced by air. So that's what we want. To essentially, this is going to avoid blocks in the way of the build. And it's probably more efficient to have all the blocks and have it go in one go. I don't know. Like, this is going to do more shots, right? Because it's going to do all of the error. Is that true? Like, if it's not going to do the shots for the blocks it doesn't have, right? It'll skip them. So then when we go back and have it place blocks, it will be placing blocks specifically the ones it didn't do previously. So I guess there's not really any loss in efficiency of having it do this. We'll feed in the materials checklist just to see where we're at. The schematic did change, so if you were paying attention, you might have seen before there was a big thing about like 100 stacks or something of, or a bunch of stacks anyway of something. There we go, 129 stacks of, previously it was andesite pavement, which is the doodads, the asphalt block. that was customized in this pack. So instead, we're using 129 stacks of cobblestone run through the mason table, which is going to be fun. I mean, I guess that's a little bit more than one of the, not the crude storage units, but the next one up, the basic storage units, 128 stacks. So if we grab one of those, we can basically fill that with cobblestone, go over to the mason's table, and then click through 129 times. But while we're doing that, I'm gonna just have that go. Now, downside to doing this is that, well, any blocks in this space are gonna get voided rather than being harvested. Right? It's not collecting those things because that'd be too easy. So 4,000 shots. Is 4,000 shots going to be enough to clear this area? I don't think so. Right, it's going to do a pretty big area here. So we probably need to even queue up even more gunpowder. Neat. I was just noticing something happening in the new Discord server I created for this channel, this community, whatever we want to call it. More to come on that. All right, what are we doing? Okay, it's not deleting anything up here yet, and I don't think it's going to. I think it'll be fine. I wanted to go over here and check on the right. So we need to switch this out. There we go. All right. Use this last little bit of bone meal, and then need to get more rice, among other things. We still have a lot of kelp here. So, I don't know how much gunpowder we're going to need for this project. Just have to wait and see. I think this is the most... Because we've not used, in this world anyway, I've not used the schematicannon to void blocks like this in a big area. It's not the most efficient thing. Like, the most efficient thing would be to use the tunnel bore multiple times or build a bigger one. But it's definitely easier just to have the schematicannon clear everything. After I get some rice, the next thing to do will be to start gathering materials from the material checklist and get that going. There we go. Okay. Well, now I have a bunch of cobblestone there. Let's look at the materials checklist. So what do we got? So ballast, 308 ballast, so like 5 stacks. What is ballast exactly? So that's cobble deep slate and gravel. Okay, so we need like 2.5 or 3 stacks of each. I don't know if we have any cobble deep slate up there, but I think there's some here, so let's grab some of that. Pretty sure I have gravel up in the build. We'll figure out what that is. Black concrete. We might have some of that still in one of the chests. So look at that. Just more cobblestone. We got lots of cobblestone up in the workshop. Dust bricks. I still have a lot of those left over. Nixie tubes. I decided that all the train signals should have Nixie tubes on top. We'll see. Boy. Okay, so we need 16 of those. So we need 8 electron tubes. We could probably do that pretty easily. Polished deep slate. This is all just cobble deep slate. Run through the stone cutter. Yeah. Train signals. I think we have a bunch of these already, and train stations. Speaking of which, I never set up the train stations in the train station. You know, so the build up there that we can't see from here. I didn't actually put train stations in for trains to stop at, so that's something we should do. And then 10 stacks of train tracks. We got like 8 in our pocket, and then a bunch more cobblestone. So this is actually, compared to some of the other stuff we've done, it's a pretty easy build. Ooh, I wonder what Deadbot is doing over there. Something to do with the farm? Guess we'll find out later. And then so I think a cool thing though will be once we get these materials in, this will just keep going, and we can start looking at working on the passenger train, which is going to involve some more interesting materials, some of which we have, like I'm using a lot of train casings. You can actually see it going down there. It's great. Okay, anyway. Let's get materials. But yeah, so we'll be able to do multiple of these things concurrently. Just keep a lot happening. And then once we get both of these things going, then we can start looking at what it's going to take to get the kelp build going. Okay, so, and then somewhere in the middle of all that, we should also start looking at unlocking these quests again. So that is another thing that I didn't put in the plan, but we need to do at some point. So re-unlock chapter 3. 3, not 5. Is there a chapter 5? I don't even know. So I think we have 8 electron tubes, and that's it. So I'm not going to make these until the end. I'll kind of defer deciding whether I want to actually build those or not. We got a bunch of rice. So the rice I'm going to take and put over here into the composting setup to make more bone meal. And that's going to make us more compost. Worth mentioning, when I was talking before about the rice that I have planted over yonder on the river, all of this is rich soil now. So this is how I've been taking the compost. I've just been laying it out underwater, which will eventually over time turn into rich soil. And I've been doing that so that we have... I think I can break this with my fist. Yeah, okay. I'm glad that worked. Okay, so we don't have cobblestone here. I think we have a chest over here. Yeah. So I'm gonna steal storage bus here. And maybe I can make this work for me. Cobble. Okay, I can drag. And then I want to input on the back. And then if I do that, yeah, it immediately appears there. So that's great. So we can take all of this double compressed and uncompress it and just toss it back into the system, and it will all go into that into there. And it doesn't show up here because it's, while it's set for input and output on the ME storage bus side, the storage unit is set only for input, so it can't output. So AE2 sees that as, it doesn't see the items in it, it just sees that it can export to it. Side note, I've really been enjoying, I was experimenting with AE2's annihilation planes. Was that yesterday? And I now have some ideas for better, bigger stone generation in various forms for the quarry. More server lag friendly, and more efficient, like more just faster stone production. So at some point we're going to fill up the storage unit. I guess I should go look at some point, maybe. Not quite yet. I did also, I think, sometime between streams, make I made more of the item store, the 1K items storage cells, and then I disassembled and ended up making another 4K. So now we have 2 4K ME item storage cells in here, and then 3 1K. One of these is not being used yet, but we got some capacity here, which is very helpful for being able to like just get in this and craft a lot of stuff and just throw it back into the system. Much easier inventory management. Oh yeah, we could see it's full because it left some stuff in the system instead of exporting it. So honestly, this doesn't need to be a storage unit. I was experimenting with seeing, with the storage units I had on hand, taking some stuff out of the system to see if I could condense down this any further, with some success. But like, if you look at this, these 3 1K ME item storage cells could be disassembled if they were all empty, and we could make a 4K for just a little bit more material. If we just had a place to put the stuff that was in these, that would be just a good trade. I just haven't, I don't have a place to put all that stuff right now. Okay, so, we can sleep maybe. Nope, monsters. Monsters over there, but not over here. Okay. So, a couple of things to do. One, we have a bunch of train tracks here. We can get those stored for the schematicannon. And 2, we can do the really tedious task of converting all the cobblestone into the fancy cobblestone that the build wants. Also, it's probably faster for me to take this ladder. Also, this ladder is here. I don't know if I've shown this on stream, but I think I remarked a couple times on stream that there was a cave underneath the house that I could hear mobs in it, so I ended up clearing this out at one point just to stop the noise, which is what this is. Okay, so anyway. Alright, how's this doing? I see. Can we use the packages? Apparently so. I took one already. Cool. We need to make that ballast, which I could have done, just didn't get around to doing. Polished deep slate. Is that something we can just make like this? Is that the most efficient way? 1-to-1? Yeah. Okay. How much of that do we need? 88. Okay, so that'll be more than enough of that. Yeah, most of the resources for this are... Oh, look, I put the track right there. Most of the resources for this are for the columns, which are purely decorative, right? It's just something to look cool, but that's that's my MO here. It's a little bit of tech progression, building up in scale, and cool looking builds that have kind of a common, like well, maybe not a common theme, a theme that ties them together, a style. So it's not just a mishmash of completely unrelated things, maybe. Okay, so we have a mason's workbench here. Now, what would be really cool is if there was a way to automate doing this, but there ain't. In fact, the thing I'm thinking about right now is the fact that, like, I can't even hold all this stone. It's a problem. Okay, so we're gonna... How's this gonna work? Okay, what we can do, we can use these storage units as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we'd only need 4, right? This is 4 times the capacity of one of those, so we can use those 4. Okay. So, what kind of cobblestone are we making? Trodden. 57. Here we go. 57. Is it in a convenient place that'll be easy to find? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the left from the bottom. Alright, let me, okay. I've leaned back a little bit further in my seat. Because this is, it's gonna take a minute. So I wonder if it would be possible to make a mod that combined, like, extended shipped to make it possible to automate this in some way that would, like, feel good with, like, let's see, what would you do? I guess you would have to have, maybe you could have it interact with deployers, right? So you would give the target block to the deployer, and the deployer would be, well, no, you would have to have it so that it would work off of the filter. You would give the block to the filter, and then you would give cobblestone to the deployer. Although I don't think it works like that. I think you would need something else. Right, because whatever is activating to automate the workbench, I mean, unless maybe you could make an automated workbench, like a variant of the different chipped workbenches that took, like, rotational energy. I don't know. What would make sense and feel like organic to both, like, create and chipped? Like, I'm almost done doing this, and I have to do this, like, more than 4 more times. well, just thinking about a build that I was working on yesterday and today, that I've been playing around with this tool for Blender called, is it Block Blender? Block Blend? Something like that. It's an add-on for Blender that allows you to take a model and turn it into Minecraft blocks. Or, yeah, effectively, with some other stuff. You can make a schematic that you can then import. So I grabbed something off of Sketchfab, scaled it up, and I thought it would be cool because it's like one of those models of the solar system that has like a base plate and like the little arms that hold the planets, and then the idea is that it all rotates, match the actual like relative motion of the planets. But there were a couple of problems. One, I decided at a scale that was, it ended up being like 22 million blocks, which is not unfeasible with automation. All right, but what I was going to say though was that it is at least, it's only using vanilla blocks, right? So, but the temptation would be, you know, I'd go in there with world edit and maybe change around some blocks, and maybe I'd end up with like, I need to make 1 million trodden cobblestone for the build. That's not gonna happen. But anyway, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, the other issue is figuring out how to, like, I probably still have to go in and manually super glue everything together if I wanted to actually use Create to have the planets and the sun to rotate. Also, have to find a place very far away to put it, because I imagine anyone who looks at it would have the frame rate drop, just because it would be a lot. It may not be practical to actually do, but it was cool to like import. I ended up having to use Lightmatica because World Edit could not load the schematic. It crashed the game. Apparently World Edit doesn't like opening a 22 million block schematic and importing it into the world. Even single player creative world. Who knew? Oh, the one on my hand is not converted. I mean, they look kind of close, right, to cobblestone? It's just different enough that I thought it would look good as a floor. Oh boy. Okay. I guess if I would have used the pavement blocks, we could have actually had that all automated, but that would have still taken a long time to build sufficient automation at scale for like all the inputs, right? Because those blocks need like concrete powder and andesite compounds, and you know, for like 8,000 blocks of it, that would be quite a lot. So instead, we're doing this for like 10 minutes. So one of the big projects, the designs that I did over the weekend that actually is ready to be used, mostly, assuming we could actually supply it with enough materials, is a zinc factory. So specifically a factory that takes compressed andesite. Since I've pretty much landed on that, I've mentioned it enough as a from a cobblestone generator that uses that generates compressed andesite from lava and water meeting on top of quadruple compressed andesite. It produces compressed andesite. And, you know, that is effectively 9 times more productive than a normal cobblestone gen, because you can turn that into 9 cobblestone. So it takes that as an input, and energy. A lot of energy, actually. Scaling up to potentially several 100,000 SU if we you know, increase the speed. So it's very productive, in other words. But it takes that, it produces zinc mainly, and then it has overflows for all the other stuff that it produces. One of the things I discovered was that there are, the way that the I don't know if we can see this here anymore in the automation matrix. The automation matrix. I don't know if we can see the zinc production here anymore because we lost a bunch of stuff. But the way it suggests doing it when you unlock that part is to you essentially combine, you make nether quartz, which you can get from washing soul sand, and then you combine that with diorite to make granite, and then you crush the granite to get red sand. And so that's a way of doing it. I found a different way, though, that's available in this pack, which is instead of doing all that, what you do is you process your cobblestone or whatever all the way into sand, right? We've seen that. We've done that a few different ways, but with crushing wheels is the straightforward way. And then you take the sand and you run it through bulk haunting to turn it into soul sand. And this sounds familiar, right? This is like the same way you would need to get nether quartz for the other way, but you don't need nether quartz this way. Instead, you can haunt the soul sand again into netherrack, and then you can take the netherrack and crush it. Now, if you're, I think, even in base create, you can take crushed netherrack and you can make like that's the path to make blaze cakes, but you don't make blaze cakes in this pack. There's fuel instead. But crushed netherrack can be combined with sand, which, you know, we're a factory that's producing all of this sand to make netherrack to be crushed is producing sand anyway. So you combine sand with crushed netherrack and you get red sand, which you can then wash and get zinc nuggets from. So that is what the design does at a very large scale. So ultimately I ended up on a design where it has 6 modules, where each module has 4 pairs of crushing wheels, right? So you're going from compressed andesite to andesite, and then you're going from andesite to cobblestone, and cobblestone to gravel, and gravel to sand. And there's byproducts there. You get a little bit of clay and flint, and then you'll get a backup of sand, and you'll get a backup of soul sand, and you'll get a backup of netherrack as the process goes on. So I have some buffers designed in the factory as well for that. So yeah, so we're not ready to build that yet, to supply that, to power that. But that will be good. It will produce a decent amount of zinc, just like it's pretty fast, even at a low amount of SU input. And it would be just a constantly running thing, especially if it's either, if we force load the chunks, maybe that'll work. Assuming we figured out how to make that work on the server at this point. I say we, but mostly it's been me trying to fiddle with the config and seeing if things improve or not. But yeah, so yeah, that design went through a number of iterations due to mistakes on my part, mostly. But yeah. And some other things happened as well. Experimenting with other things, trying to figure out what was going to be good to be able to move us forward, right? So, you know, in this playthrough, I'm trying to do a couple things. I do want to like complete the chapters of the pack. I know I'm led to believe that there will be an update coming, and there will be changes. So there will be the pack is not complete, in other words, in terms of what's available in it, and so more to come. And but I would still like to, you know, complete what is completable in the pack, and then I'll have to figure out what we're gonna do about the future when that, you know, when there's an update. You know, what is that going to mean? I don't know. But don't need to cross that bridge yet. So like I said, there's a couple things that I want to achieve. One is completing, you know, up to what's available to complete in the pack. And two is to have a lot of fun and build a lot of cool things. And the great thing is, with something like this, even before I started playing this, I had a lot of ideas around the idea of using schematics and the schematicannon, and I mean, there's some stuff we're doing here. Some of the builds require things that are specific to this pack, but I do want to kind of design things in a way where, can I use this? If I put this as an output, I wonder. Hello, zombie. You're very weak to the sword. Oh, I let you hit me. Shame on me. Oh, there's more. Some with armor. Alright. Let's update our book. Now, does the book show that it has the shred and cobblestone, or no? It thinks it needs 76 more. That makes sense. Okay. No problem. Okay, now I just look in here really quick. So it looks like we're just doing the bottom layer. And the reason it's not doing the floor is because it didn't have the blocks to do the floor. And so it's, I guess none of the floor is air, so it wasn't going to remove any of these existing floor blocks. And it didn't have blocks to put down for the floor, so it just basically skipped that level. And it looks like it started working on this level. Maybe it's still working on that level. It's hard to say. But we're going to get a little bit more cobblestone and start looking at some of the other materials we need and get this build kind of off doing its thing, and we can move on to the next thing. Get some concurrency going on in our building. Anyway, I think I was trying to drive at a point there before I get distracted by matters at hand. Do I have cobblestone in here? I think I maybe took it all. Smooth basalt. Gravel. I'm going to need the gravel. Alright, and I'm going to need that too. Whoops. For ballast. But I probably don't have cobblestone kicking around in here anywhere. Anywhere? Maybe upstairs? No, it's not like that's a precious material. Not that smooth stone is either. Okay, well, guess I'll use the car this time. I'll go over to the workshop, pick up some stuff. Point being that I kind of look at some of the building stuff here as things that are not like, oh, I'm building this for the pack, and then these may be things that I carry forward into a future world, either as is or modified, and like build on top of, rather than being I guess what I'm saying is this is why I am prepared to invest a lot of time into cool looking buildings for a mod pack, because I felt in the past that I didn't really feel like I wanted to invest a lot of time into cool looking buildings, because you know, you don't continue to play a mod pack typically for a long period of time. I guess if we were doing some Greg Tech New Horizons or one of those other packs, you would already know you would be in for the long haul. But that's the kind of the tack I'm taking. The tack I'm taking. Okay, so we can also make some ballast like that. How much did we need? I don't know. I guess I could look at the list. Basically 5 stacks. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks. So we oh, now we're out of gravel. Great. Is there gravel? Surely there's gravel somewhere in here. Or have we processed it all into other things? Why am I looking at these other storage units? I feel like sometimes I will, because the slot in the storage unit will have just like an extra slot you can put stuff in. Sometimes I'll put unrelated things in, which is not good, but it's because then I have to question what's in. Oh, wow. Got a bunch of straw there. Okay, so no gravel. All sorts of things. See, like that. Did, huh. Visual glitch? It looked like something flew through me. Can I put that there, just in case? I forget that I don't have a storage unit on there, and I try to crush something and stuff just flies off, and then I forget about it and it despawns, and sad times. Okay, so cobblestone. Speaking of which, let's make some gravel. That's it. It's not waiting in there. Well, I'll just need to configure this. In, back, auto input. Perfect. All right. So I think I'm going to take my midstream break a little early today for reasons. Let's see here. How much do we need? It was like 4 and some change. Yeah, so we should be good now. Do we have concrete? Nope. Okay, we'll have to attend to that. Okay, so we're gonna let's get these blocks in, and then take my midstream break, and then when I return, we will continue on the builds. All right, mason table. I mean, at least it was only like 8,000 and not 100,000. But that would be where I'd be like, okay, let's just use cobblestone or smooth stone or something that's super easy to automate. I mean, that is, like I said before, why this was switched to be a chipped block instead of pavement. Alright, put the rest in here and that in there. How are we doing on... Okay, good. Alright, BRB, just a few minutes. We'll come back for some more Create Astral. Alright, I have returned. Here we go. Let me get back on the server. Hey, wait a second. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let's see. Still going? Still going. Alright. So lots of ballast. Got that. What else do we need? Well, let's update the checklist. Alright, so last page is done. Train track, we still need a little bit more. We need train stations and train signals. We can do that right now, I think. If I can find the right box. There we go. So how many? 16. And 3 of those. Desk bricks, cobblestone big bricks. We're gonna need more cobblestone. No big deal. Flat concrete. Need a lot of polished deep slate slabs. We're gonna need more deep slate. And okay, so let's update the list just to have that handy. Alright, and that away. I mean, okay. I was thinking to keep some of these things out in my hand just because we might want it for additional things, but probably need the inventory space more. It's busy in here. Okay. Off we go. Let's get some more materials. Alright, so deep slate is a thing that I don't think we oh hey, we got some slabs. How many did we need? 5.5 stacks. Okay. Well, we got 2, almost 3 stacks, so that's good. What else we got? Gray concrete. Doesn't help. Anything else in here we might want to grab? You know, we can take these and turn them into which kind of 62. Okay. 62. Alright, let's check the other chest over here. There might be some stuff we need that are in the chest from previous builds. Nope. Hey, there you go. How many of those? 5.5 stacks. Okay. Work on that. One of those in there. Hey, a couple deep slate. Sure, why not? Okay. else? A couple of chain tracks will be good. Nope. Okay, what about over here? Nope, okay. We'll get a little bit more cobblestone. I'll get some cobble deep slate too. Take that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for good measure. And then black concrete. Gotta make the powder first. So how much do we need before I do this? Oh boy, 10 stacks. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so let's get some more cobblestone. We need more gravel. Sneak our way through here. Go faster. Okay, so let's take what we got and get some going, deliver some blocks. We also want some more cobblestone to replace what we just processed. See if we make more black concrete powder. Okay, we got a stack. It's better than nothing. Let's take maybe half of the cobblestone we picked up and throw in here as well for processing. There we go. And let's take what we got and do what we can with it. Is my car... Where is my car? Oh, it's at the house, isn't it? Yep. So, yeah. I need to go and wash this concrete powder. And I mean, technically I have a washing station in the workshop up there, but it's the one that's embedded inside of the clay processing. So instead, we'll come down here and we'll wash our stack of concrete powder. This could be faster if I put water back here. Is it done? I can't tell. I think, yes, okay. I did, oh hey, we have black concrete right here. Sweet. Well, I guess, that takes care of that. Where am I going? Got this. Let's go this way. Uh-oh. How did that happen? Where did that happen? I wish there was a way to see the trains on the map. Item train cobblestone lava train 1. Interesting. Signal problem, I guess. Oh, still going, alright. Yep. And all of that, and one of those. Oh wow, okay. Let's update our checklist. Still need a little over 2 stacks of train tracks. 170 polished deep slate slab. And some other stuff. So we can do something about the deep slate. Let's go do the rest of those. Okay, that might be enough. Check it again. Alright, so boy, we still need more black concrete, huh? Wow, that was a lot. Yeah. It's a testament to my inability to remember things. It's not like this is something I designed and was looking at like this build earlier today because I had to fix the schematic as I mentioned before. But yeah, it's not immediately obvious that like quantities until you actually have the numbers in front of you like this. Is I guess a point. Also, it's a pretty big build, huh? All right. Anyway, let's get out of here. Probably need to figure out what's going on with the. So we have a 3-train collision somewhere. Somehow. Did we lose a signal? Don't know. Alright, so we're gonna get these some of this cobblestone converted. So chipped 62. 5 stacks of 62. Let's convert this stuff. 62. There we go. Anything else we want to grab? Desk bricks. Probably have some of those kicking around. We can make some more black concrete. And we need more train track. Now, to make train track, I think there's a few things we need. We got a bunch of smooth stone here. Is that what we use? Smooth stone into slabs and then slabs into the sequence? Yes. Okay. I'm just gonna run. That way when I run back the other way, I get to ask myself halfway back if if I left the car here on the side or not. Alright, so did we run out of slabs? We did run out of slabs. Okay, cool. So let's... Great. And then we're just going to change this. And then we need iron. Iron nuggets. Oh, I hear pillagers. Fortunately, they're out there, and I'm in here, so Tough luck for them. Alright, great. We'll make a bunch of tracks. Oh, we had a bunch of tracks. Okay, well, let's haul those tracks. And all this stuff. And let's see, we should have some gravel now. So we can make some more black concrete powder. There you go, a little bit. I feel I'm at the stage now where like one crude storage unit is just a little bit of a material. 2, 3, 4. No, 3 and 24. Is that enough? No. No. Oh, we're out of sand. Do we have a box of sand? If not, I have a way of making sand. Here we go. And it goes. What if I made the top floor of this building? Because I haven't done anything yet in the top floor of this, right? How big of an ME system? I think I said at one point in stream that I was not going to do a just like one big ME system where everything's plugged into, and I want to stick to that. But for like my personal workshop and my like storage of intermediate things, odds and ends, it's kind of nice. Like I did this, but imagine bigger. And I also think it kind of makes sense to here, I'll make some extra to I don't know that we're ever going to take like this production for the parts for the E system and scale it out hugely. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, let's take a look at this really quick. So the big scale thing, right, would be like the 256K ME storage components. Since we don't, like, it gets crazy when you're talking about doing like auto crafting stuff, but that's not enabled in this pack. But just the storage, because one of these requires 3 of these, one of these requires 3 of these. You know, it goes all the way down to 1K. However many levels that is. So that's 3, 9, 27. 27 times 36, 74. Yeah. So it's a lot. But still maybe something that's doable, like in a little build. Especially if you have a constant supply of shimmer coming in. That is another thing that is somewhere in the list, in the plan, is infinite shimmer. And I have something to share on that we can talk about at some point. I don't need to do anything here. I need to go down and wash the concrete powder. That's what needs to happen. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this. Oh right, because this is set to N. So we're gonna turn that off. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put all this concrete powder in here. I'm gonna set this to output to the left. We're gonna set this to output. So there we go. And we just need to wait for this to process once, and we'll set this to pick it up, and then we can set and forget this for a few minutes, and we can drop off this other stuff for the build. Yes. There it is. All right, you go in there. And this is set to, yep, good. All right, so we'll take our first stack here, and then the rest will go do its thing. Oh, I'm trapped. Yeah, it looks like you're outside, but you're actually still inside because of the way the doors are implemented. But it's worth putting up with because it's such a cool looking door now. One of the things I did some design work on today was actually a big tank. A tank big enough to be, you know, like 10,000 blocks in size for an infinite shimmer or honey or chocolate tank. And one of the things I did was, at least for shimmer, you can't swim in. So first of all, you don't want to fall into it because you just fall through it. And it doesn't slow you down on the way down, but assuming you did survive the fall into a, you know, 20-something block deep tank, you would have a difficult time since you would not be able to swim in it. So one of the things I included in it was at the bottom of the tank was a 3x3, one of those doors. In other words, that's why I'm mentioning it. So you'd be able to leave the tank. And they are fluid tight. As in, you can open it and you don't let the fluid out. I mean, Minecraft physics for fluids doesn't work that way anyway, but it doesn't make a mess or anything, which is good. Hello, zombie. Alright, how are we doing? Alright, I failed to get the dust bricks again. Still working on the black concrete. We need a buffer track. Because I thought it would be cool to have a spot where the track just ends. Oh, it's just that. Okay, cool. Who knew? Look, I've only done that in creative, just from the thing, so I didn't know how it was crafted. It'd be hilarious if it was some complicated, material-intensive recipe. Right, we're still not using any of this because the build continued on. It's not going to use any of this until we restart the build. So that's fine. So black concrete, dust bricks, Nexi tubes. We are almost there. The build is not. It's still gonna have to replace all this, but that's actually, hopefully, it can replace the. I think it can replace the blocks in the floor without disturbing the tracks. I feel like I've seen that work before. I guess we're gonna find out. Oh well, I've already chosen to sleep in the sleep bag, even though I have a bed upstairs. Oh well. And oh no. I didn't want to run into the dog. Oh, that was not as dramatic as I was thinking it was going to be. It's a pretty rough terrain there, actually. Alright, we're going to go. Yep, none of this is really set up to be car friendly. Alright, so yep, should be good. Now we need desk bricks and Nixie tubes. which I believe we got a bunch of bricks here, but I think we have a bunch in the ME system. I'll take a few extra just in case. Not that this amount will be enough if we didn't have any, but I feel like we have a bunch of dusk bricks. Anyway, this is a much faster trip if we taking the car back and forth, so it's fine. None in there. Which, why would there be? I would have picked it up if there were already, since we looked in there before. Okay, well this is sorted by quantity, so yeah, that's pretty indicative of the fact that there aren't any. Oh hey look, there's a bunch of cobbled slate here. Do you recall, maybe that was 15, 20, 25, 45, however many minutes ago, saying I didn't have any desperate cobbled deep slate up here? Well, that was not true. I also have pearl bricks. Do I have a box that has the other kind of bricks? Nope. Okay. Weird. Can we make these? Can we make these? I mean, it's not like we're ever not going to need dusk bricks. Like I use it on all the builds. This is not going to be enough. Okay, well, I was wrong. A couple times over. But that's how it is. So, at some point, as I was messing with the rice and compost and rich soil situation yesterday, I lost my quadricopter. So this is the new one that I made today because I couldn't find it. I don't know where it went. If you spot my quadricopter, not the one in my backpack, but where am I going? Oh yeah, I'm getting bricks. Unless there's, okay, no, in here. Oh hey, look, black concrete. Bricks? No. Okay. That should be enough. So if you spot the quadricopter somewhere, I've looked all over for it. Last seen somewhere in here, right? Because it was flying up from the rice, and I flew up and over. And usually I get off the quadricopter like right here in front of the workshop, and then I break it, pick it up, and put it in my pocket. But one time I guess I didn't do that or something. Maybe it just like glitched and it's gone. Maybe I failed to break it and it flew off on its own. I don't know. But if you spot it, let me know. Because yeah, I don't know. Also interesting. I feel like the last time I was in the quadricopter, the old quadricopter, I got a little stuck and I had to like get back in it and back out of it, but I feel like I still would have broken it and picked it up. I don't know, maybe it glitched out of the worlds, or where am I going? I need to go, actually I don't need to go in here. I need to go back over there so we can use the other materials to make more dusk bricks. That's right. That's where we're at. Other theory was that I didn't actually get off of it here the last time. And maybe I got off of it over there, and maybe it was too close to the track and somehow the train hit it. I've not seen any evidence of that. Something that just occurred to me. I had the replay mod. I could theoretically go and look at the recording. I don't know if I would actually see it in the recording, but that's an option. Okay, now we're out of black dye. It's not great. So we got 104. We got 175. Okay, so we need more black dye. We got a ton of charcoal here. So I guess what we're gonna do, we're gonna crush it. Also, now we have sand. That will stick in a box somewhere. Yeah, guess I'll put it in the ME system. Great. Okay. That should be enough, right? 2 stacks and 40? Nope. 2 stacks and 47 is what we need. There you go. Alright, is that? I already supplied that. We got that. We got that in our hands and extra. Let's leave 2 stack and 40, and the rest can go in there. We don't need that cobblestone on us either. 16 Nixie tubes. I guess we'll make them. It's all of our electron tubes, but hey, it looks cool. If one cares about that sort of thing, it's also maybe helpful if you're trying to understand how what the signals are doing, and you want to actually see them without getting up right next to them. The Nixie tubes do kind of indicate what's going on, although I have to admit that I've not fully internalized what the indicators on the Nixie tubes on the train signals mean. I guess now that I'm doing this, I might be encouraged to do that internalization, that learning. We'll see. Alright. So put this in. We're done with that. So I think what we should do is we should stop this. And great. And then don't skip missing blocks because you should have everything. And we'll just put in a stack. Like the buffer only holds a certain amount, so we're at most gonna waste the buffer. I don't think we'll go through a whole stack, but that's fine. I'd rather it keep going rather than risk it stopping. And then we're gonna continue operating the same way, except now it's gonna do this. Ow. So you can see it's progressed. What is that? Oh, right, that's the pillar. What is that? It's the build. Yeah. Cool. Alright, well, schematicannon's gonna do its thing. It's got a lot of skeletons. All spawning there for some reason. Oh yeah, this build doesn't include any kind of light. So this is gonna spawn a lot of mobs that we'll have to deal with. Won't that be fun? What's next? Passenger train. No. How are we doing on time? Okay. Let's take a look at what's going to be required to do passenger train and see where we stand on materials, and then kind of weigh that against time remaining on today's stream. Or maybe we should look at what happened with the trains. Well, let's take a look at the schematic for the passenger train. I don't think I've shown this on stream yet. So 1A passenger train. The 1A is just so that it shows up at the top of the list, because I decided that just having A was not enough. I need numbers too, because there's a lot. Including a lot of things I don't want to build. A lot of old things, test things. Yeah, so, but we're not doing any of that right now. We're going to look at this schematic for a train. Put that there. And where are we going to build it? Here's the question. So theoretically, we're going to build it down in the the train yard, right? That was the objective, the goal, the plan, the purpose. But we are not quite ready to do that yet. I did see, yes, so here we go. So if we do this, we're gonna lose some flowers, but it'll be fine. Let's move this out of the way. So here we go. One train. I like it. And so this is a new engine design. And a passenger car. There we go. Yeah. And it's set up with lots of seats for many passengers, whether that's other players, or maybe you could put some animals in there, whatever. So this is what I'd like to build. Now, can we build it? To know that, let's look at the schematicannon here. Put in schematic. And yeah, so we're gonna build it like just right here in the path. Convenient, because we should be able to link up that piece of track that it's gonna build with this track here, and we can get the train onto the rail system. So let's take a look at the materials checklist for this build. So 7 pages of stuff. I think what is going to be good to do. So let's see here. Where is our? Here we go. And green one. We're going to just set up a some chests here for things, and we're going to put some tracks in, and we'll just have it put down the tracks, and we'll get that set up, and that'll be a logical thing to do. And then we can come back and add more blocks, and this can be like an ongoing thing. Oh, right. Again, I love it, the durability. Okay, so and we can put in a little bit of gunpowder here. And so what we want to do is we want to replace solid with any is fine. We don't want to void blocks here. We want to protect tile entities, and we can skip missing blocks and then just hit play. And this is just going to clear out some flowers and put down the track for us for where the train is going to go. And hopefully I've set this up. Yeah, it's not going to intersect with the workbench. And we will basically set this up. So this is where the... Oh, that's wrong. It should not be super gluing the track together. We'll have to fix that later, but that's fine. Love it. In the meantime, okay, so cool. This individualization of the schematic, it looked like it continued into a curve, but that was not a real thing. So we're just gonna come over here. We're gonna link this up somewhere here. Not enough tracks. Okay. We didn't need any of the rest of these tracks, right? Get this linked up. We'll have a like a temporary place. Oh, don't want to deal with you, zombie. Not enough tracks. Let's get some more then. Okay. That's too much, but it's fine. Rather too much than too little. Alright. Schematicannon is very insistent that it needs to glue all those things together. It does not need to, but it's fine. Just want to do this before the train comes. I don't like that, but I guess it technically is fine. So I like the flowers, but they don't need to be on the train tracks. Alright, cool. Okay. Great, it's finished. Alright, so we're gonna put the schematic back so it's ready to go, and we can just kind of like incrementally add stuff to the build. Yeah. Because I think what I want to do next is figure out what's going on with our existing trains. You know, ones for the factories, and oh yeah, we gotta align this. Yeah, that's fine. It should align with the end, right? There we go. Basically because it's going to take more than an hour probably to gather all the materials really to get this train going. And so we'll just come back to it. There we go. Oh yeah, we can let's go fill up our package of tracks, and then we'll set out and see what's going on with the well, maybe not fill. Apparently we're out of slabs. All right, that's all the tracks. Trains everywhere. All right, put this off to the side. Cars over there. I think so. I think I see it. So, I mean, it's possible that maybe Dadbot has already fixed whatever might have gone wrong. But let's see here. Where might this train collision have occurred? Right, so it's gonna be somewhere where, like, somewhere in here is likely, right? Oh, there we go. That seems a little off. Isn't there supposed to be a train signal right here? I mean, you'd think so. Okay, we'll have to fix the trains. Which is going to be interesting. So, did the drivers survive? Is the question. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if this one in there did. This one's fine. So let's see here. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wrench this, put it over there. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, we moved it past the signal, so that's fine. Okay, and that's clear now. So maybe we can move this one past the signal. And off it goes. And then this one, don't know if the conductor survived. Yep, the conductor did not survive. But this section is now clear, so we'll move it down here so that we can get easier access to this. We need a new conductor. Let's go catch something. How about let's not get caught by a train? Here, hold on. Aw. That would have been great if that hatched. I guess maybe we can grab a chicken. Or maybe there's some eggs here. Oh. Nope. Okay. Ew. Unacceptable. Ah. Why would you do this to me, Minecraft? Okay. Oh, there I went and did it. You get off the tractor. Let's go. And hurry up before a train comes. Come on. You're gonna be my new conductor. So I wonder, do the chicken conductors lay eggs as they go drive? Like if you go down a section of railroad track like after this, will you see eggs every once in a while? Okay, so this is the train that's waiting for our train. Come along. Yeah, see, it's waiting for the signal, as is proper. Saw some particles dripping from that one. I'm assuming that's a bee conductor. Oh, let me out. Gotta get my lead and get out of the way of this train. All right. Derailing sorted. things. Should probably, maybe we should have like hoppers or something. I mean, I guess we just put all the eggs into a, all the eggs. All of the eggs, you know, these things, all the chickens, into a smaller space for easier egg collection. That's an option. Oh boy. Okay, so what are we doing? Underground trainyard is working. Let's talk about the kelp farm. So, can we even talk about the? I might have to make another schematicannon, actually. Also, did I drive over here? And if I did, where is my car? Or did I walk over here? Now I'm gonna fly. Because I don't want to be hit by a train. So, is my car over here? Is this my car? Did I leave my car here? I think it's my car. It's gold, right? Gold end. Alright. So I think what we need to do is we need to make another schematicannon. And then we can go over to the existing kelp farm and talk about the new one. And look at what that's going to require. And maybe we can see if there's anything that is like stuff we should be working on now to be ready to build it. Some of the things we've already been working on. So we've been working on the clear glass and the compost for rich soil, because those are the big ticket items. But we'll see if there's other stuff. What am I searching for? Schematicannon? Oh, hey, look, a material checklist. Okay. Smooth stone, didn't I have some of that? What else do we need? Dispenser? Can we... Okay, we can make that, sure. We should have lots of gunpowder over here now. Well, a few stacks. I don't know if that counts as a lot, but some. Let's make another schematicannon with a dispenser with a makeshift pistol. Imagine AE2 auto crafting, having all this stuff set up. Sure. Imagine a lot of things. Are we out of iron? What a world. Okay, so we need smooth stone and iron. Oh boy. Smooth stone we can do. We got a handy dandy bulk processing thing here. And iron, we might have some in a box. A couple of blocks of iron. Get more elsewhere, but in terms of what's here in this workshop, that'll do. This is running, right? Well, it is, because we have particle effects, so we know this is running. All right. All right, there we go. One time through. One more time. Schematicannon needs smooth stone, specifically. Oh, wait. Yeah, smooth stone, not stone. Yes, indeed. And I think we have, let's check our box. Let's make another schematic. Hey, we have a wireless crafting terminal. Empty schematic. light blue dye. We need, well, we have white dye. It's just not in the system anymore because I took it out for no particular reason, honestly. Just experimenting with things. This is done. Toss that in there, Make me light blue dye. Make a couple of these empty schematics. They're handy to have. They don't stack. And a schematicannon. That's our third. I think we had one before that was lost, maybe. Yeah, I'll take this out just to put the extra thing away. So we're gonna go over to the kelp producing area. We're gonna sleep here first. We're gonna go over to the kelp producing area. We're gonna check out what's going on over there. I think it's unchanged since the last time we were over there on stream, with one exception that has to do with plans. Maybe I should refill my rice on the way. Thinking ahead here. Alright, down we go. Alright. I've heard that there may be a new source of food at some point in the future. Better than bowls of rice. So I'm looking forward to that coming true. That doesn't involve me building anything. Not that obviously I love building things, but it's great to have other people build stuff and, you know, share in a word. Share in the productivity. I don't know. Anyway, so here we are at the little kelp factory. It's running. It's doing its thing. It's got some rich soil here. It's got some rich soil here. We ran out before we finished the whole layer, though. And now I want to do something tremendously ambitious. So to facilitate that, what I did was I turned off the smoking and packing and all that stuff, and we're just keeping the kelp, because we're going to need a lot of kelp to build a bigger factory, right? Whereas we do need dried kelp, right? The plan was to use this to make bone meal and as a fuel source and other things, but it just doesn't produce enough, not nearly enough for our needs. But I have something that probably will. Also, I still need something from this box. So let's go up somewhere with a little bit of space where we'll be able to see what's going on. And we'll get our schematic table here so we can load up the schematic. And we'll put that in there. And we're going to look at 2A big kelp farm. It's pretty big. You might be able to tell by how long it's taking to load the schematic. It's a lot of layers. They're bigger layers. One thing I noticed as I was trying to take the... so what I did was I took the existing design. I did increase the radius a little bit of the layer. And then I started to see that there were issues with it producing so much kelp that the processing system couldn't keep up per layer, which it needs to, right? If the individual layers processing things aren't keeping up, then you're gonna back up, and you're essentially wasting the effort of building larger layers if your processing system can't keep up. So then I had to make adjustments there. And it kind of spiraled into something pretty big. So let's see. Let's imagine a thing. Maybe over here. So we're going to have some frame issues with this large visualization. So sorry about that. But if we come over here to where you have a wider perspective, so something like this. And it's quite a bit, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers. Each layer has its own independent mechanical bearing with linear chassis that are rotating around with harvesters to harvest the kelp that's growing on top of rich soil. And then each layer, it's safe to stand here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So each layer has several set of smoking setups and compacting. And then all of that gets thrown onto, not this belt up front. This is actually for the train loading. But gets thrown off to the side and down. And let's see. Let's get over here closer and we can see the bottom of the apparatus. Maybe, although it may be intersecting with the ground here. So there's a few things. Let's see if we let's lift it up so we can kind of see. Here's the ground floor. Difficult to move it around when it's like that. But yeah, let's see. Here we go. Let's see if we move it that way and maybe lift it up a little bit more so we have a little bit more clearance. So we have a big item vault to collect the resources while we wait for the next train, and then we have a thing to load off here. And this design includes something that detects when the item vault fills, because it may fill, and at which point clutches engage that shut off the machinery. So it's not operating if we're not using those resources, if it backs up. So that is the design. I'm not even going to pretend that's going to be the final location where it goes, but we'll just have that there so we can get a sense of the amount of resources that we're going to need to do this, kind of to get a sense of where we're going. And we'll update this checklist. All right, so 8 pages of things. And it starts off, andesite casing, easy. 16 basins, not bad. 19 brass funnels. That's, I think, probably more brass funnels than we've made so far this game. 16 brass tunnels. I think both of these are like it's 2 per brass ingot. So we're talking about, not a stack of brass or anything like that. Maybe half a stack of brass. Some campfires. 52 stacks of clear glass. So that is 3,361. We have that. We have more than that. We have way more than that. We have like 15,000 clear glass at this point. Cogwheels, clutches, content observer, crude storage units. Easy stuff. A display link that's going to require brass casing, I think. Dusk bricks. More bricks, no big deal. And case chain drives, this is kind of a lot. 2 stacks, and that's pretty doable. Like, we could probably grind through a lot of this stuff with the resources we have, with just some scrounging and maybe processing some raw items that we have. And then kelp, so 3,000 kelp. We have like 1,500 something sitting in there. So we'll be able to accumulate nearly all that we need in that crude storage unit. you know, 2048. In fact, we might want to empty that storage unit, and then that plus it filling again will be enough to provide for this, right, to fill each of those layers. The big thing I think is up to come. So it's a lot of it's 3 stacks of mechanical harvesters, but those don't require brass, so this should be pretty easy to do. Linear chassis, same deal. 3 Nixie tubes. We made some of those. We can make some more electron tubes. The catwalk, it's a lot of iron. we may get to the point here pretty soon where we've run through the iron we accumulated at the beginning of this, through this playthrough. Rich soil. So 52 stacks of rich soil is a lot. And that's the thing that oh, it's not quite, it seemed darker than it was. Let's pack up though. We don't need this stuff on us to yeah, so let's pick up this cup. So the big thing is going to be the rich soil, I think. All right. Great. Oh, now it's sunset. Perfect. So the rich soil situation is thus: we have half a stack or so there, a little bit. We have some that we've been maybe a stack or two that's in the farm here that I've been working on over time here, just for the this is what's going on here? Is this okay? Interesting. That timing too. In case that wasn't clear, I was driving backwards. And driving backwards, I could back up on that. Anyway, so a lot of this under here is actually rich soil. Hard to see through the water. But yeah, so all of that. And then the let's head back to the workshop. So there's a couple stacks there. So let's see, how many stacks of rich soil are we talking about here? 52 stacks. So we have maybe 3 or 4, optimistically, over on the side of the world. But we have more. Because that area, I think I mentioned before, over yonder, that I've been growing rice in to accumulate more straw and rice for compost, for bone meal, or for the composter to make bone meal, to make compost, to put into the world to make rich soil. You know, we've accumulated quite a bit. Let's see. I want to put away this this kelp before we move on. So that's a thing. So that has been kind of a little project I've been chipping away at in terms of getting more compost. And now you get to see some of that happen too. So where are we at here? We are out of bone meal again. Do we have anything we can turn into bone meal? Haha, well, we could turn the kelp, but that's counterproductive. Random things we don't care about in here we could get rid of finally? Sure. Not very effective because, like, yeah. Just in terms of clearing out inventory, here we go. And what's cool, at least when we're doing this by hand, we can have it feed from the top and click in. Okay. Interesting. I think Oh yeah, because we were right-clicking it when it filled, it popped out instead of getting pulled into the storage unit. Anyway, normally that works, and we get a little bit more compost. So, yeah, it is a bit of a project. Let's see here. Can we put this schematicannon? Yes, great. Okay, so besides the rich soil, what else was there? A lot of shafts, 8 smart chutes, that's some more brass. But I think like it's gonna take more time than we have today. But I think these big projects, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff between streams, kind of prepping. But I don't have all the time in the world. This is what I'm doing for fun, but I have other things going on too. So there's going to be more streams of working on these projects, gathering materials, crafting things up. I mean, who would have thought playing a game called Minecraft that we would be crafting? Honestly, not been doing a lot of mining, right? It's a lot of resource generation. But yeah, so here's the little project that I've been chipping away at in order to be able to make. Like, the main thing has been, you got to take the compost and you got to put it out in the world for it to turn into rich soil anyway. So I figured if I was going to do that, I might as well do that and plant rice. And that way we are generating the straw, and you can take the rice and compost it to get bone meal to use to make compost. That's not confusing at all, right? So Minecraft vanilla composter, put, you know, plant material in, get bone meal out, and then Farmer's Delight recipe takes bone meal and other stuff and gets you compost to the block, which you can put in the world and will turn into rich soil. So that's the story. And so what I've been aiming to do so far is to basically fill this 2x3 chunk area, and making good progress on that. So that's, you know, each chunk is 64 or 16 by 16. It's 256 blocks of, you know, one layer. So 512, 1024 plus 512, 15 something blocks of rich soil here. Once this is filled, that we can then pick up. We got one more to put today. There we go. And then for harvesting, what I've been doing, this could be automated, right? I haven't, because this is a thing that I can also do while I'm doing other things. And I also made the sides, which helps a little bit if I aim in the right place, like that. Yeah, so I've done this a few times now to be able to get the straw and the rice for the bone meal. I mean, at this point, there's a lot of straw. Like, we're making more straw than bone meal from this. So I may switch to AFKing over at the skeleton farm to get bones for bone meal, to be able to make more rich soil, right? So basically, this area is going to produce nearly half. Like, when we pick up all the rich soil in the world, that'll be nearly half of what we need. So, but yeah, I think I'll have to do the math on that. So let's take a look at rich soil real quick. Rich soil texture is organic compost. So it takes 2 straw. So we need about 2,000 more organic compost. So we need about 4,000 straw, and we have about 2,000 straw. So we need more straw still, but you know, we're about halfway there. And this side is gonna pick soon. I'll have to probably just go back to doing a row at a time. Or repair it, I suppose. Could do that. That's also an option. Yeah, so this is one of the two things. This is honestly not, though, the thing that... This is the kelp farm is not what prompted me to start working towards doing all of this compost, though. There's another farm. There's another one, which is a bigger tree farm, and it needs kind of a similar amount of compost. It's a different layout. Saw an error in OBS. Hopefully things are fine. But yeah. So, lots of things. On the other hand, having this much area producing rice, and I know Dadbot9K is also working on farms that are also going to be able to produce straw, I think is my understanding. So that may be also a thing that will help provide enough input resources to make all the compost we're going to need. But it's they're big projects, and that's oh yeah, so this is fully broken, and I need to sleep before I get swarmed by moths. All right, so yeah, can I there we go. Okay, back to by hand harvesting. So I think pretty soon, though, given what I just said, we will be able to like tear out all of this, so I can collect all the rich soil. And in fact, given that, you know, we're at maybe half of the rich soil that we're gonna need, not even half, it might be time to think about something to automate that. That would be kind of interesting to do, though, right? Because what you need to do is you need to put down the compost blocks, and then you need to... Oh, you know what would be good for that? AE2 annihilation planes would be really good for that, because they can be set to pick. They will harvest / mine the block adjacent to them, and they can be set to pick up certain kinds of blocks. So you could set them to pick up rich soil, right? And then, I mean, I guess you could use, I think that there's an opposite to the annihilation block, or plate, rather. I said, isn't there a formation plate? Yeah. So I guess you could have like a set of formation and annihilation plates. So the there is power cost to running all of that. But I mean, we're not producing like, we don't need to produce 1 million rich soil blocks. Just, you know, a few thousand at a time. So I wonder what would be involved. What's involved in actually crafting? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we could do that. Maybe in our remaining time today, we can look at setting up an annihilation and formation plate setup. I think we have enough power coming in that we could afford doing that in our little workshop, just to kind of test it out. And that could be a way to kind of slowly but passively convert compost into rich soil and put it into the ME system. That'd be fun, right? Ultimately, you know, maybe it would be worthwhile to think about designing automation that would like fully automate the process of getting all the input materials to make the compost. I think that's something that needs to wait for us to get the tree farm and the kelp farm, because those will be our sources of materials for bone meal. But once we did that, then we could have a factory for making compost, or for making rich soil. Ultimately, what would be really awesome to do, although I don't know if I'm willing to commit to doing it, would be to do like a factory where like everything we would, like all the things, like a mall, like a Factorio mall, right? But have an automated mechanism for producing all the kinds of blocks that we would need for everything that we are building, have built, would build, etc. It's not impossible. It would be a lot of work, and we're not prepared to do that. Like, honestly, what we need to do is we need to get further into the pack, because there are better sources of power. There's better, bigger, more efficient, easier to do things. Oh yeah, we can see the oh, you don't see it on this map, but we have a chicken conductor on that train now. Okay, we don't need all that charcoal in there. Let's instead process rice. Let's also clear out let's make some room here in our inventory. Let's get all the stuff that's waiting out. This is from us processing that charcoal before. There we go. Now rice. And lots of straw. So what did I say? We need about 4,000 more straw to make the compost, to make the rich soil. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's put some stuff away, and let's take a look at doing making the formation and annihilation plates. I mean, they just sound cool, don't they? The issue is the lack of shimmer dust. So how are we doing over here? We can make a little bit more. We do need more Certus quartz. Oh yeah, we got like a stack in there. Oh, pretzels. Easy decided to be really loud for a moment. Anyway, here we go. Okay, and it goes. I think at this stage in the game, I don't really have any other uses for shimmer besides making shimmer dust, so I'm just going to convert it all to shimmer dust. And that'll be fine. And speaking of that, oh, I don't have it on me. So if you've seen past days of me playing this, we used to have, the last couple of streams, a fluid cell, a portable. What's it called? Yeah, portable fluid cell. We had a 16K one with a bunch of power in it. And so a thing that I was trying to figure out how to do is like, okay, well, how do we go and get shimmer from the different pools that are underground? And I have it pretty much sorted out, so you can just build a little windmill. I stole one of the alternators that was over there to produce, power. These are the Create Crafts and Additions alternators. So I grabbed one of those, and a windmill, and some gearing, and an ME chest, right, to put the cell into, and then a hose pulley. And so the windmill also powers the hose pulley, or it powers a pump connected to the hose pulley that pumps into the ME chest, and that seemed to work and be able to put fluid into the fluid cell. So I'll go look at that in a minute, but let's work on this other thing that we were just talking about. So annihilation plane we can make, and formation plane we can also make. Ta-da! And we get some cables. And so how does this work? How do we do? So where do I want to put this is the question. Honestly, it's just going to be a mess anyway. Let's go over here. Okay, so how I think this works. We put the formation plane here. Ooh. Reach 8 channels using devices on a network. How many channels do we have? 8. That might be problematic. Is that a problem? It says device online. 9 channels. Okay, so I guess this is fine. So what we're gonna do, this is, a short-term thing. Also, we don't have any more compost, do we? We have no bone meal. Good news, we have a bunch of rice. We're just gonna compost all this rice. And, oh, hey, look, 1,500 straw. So we are nearly at enough straw to make the compost. Although we need a bunch more tree bark, so we'll have to do that processing. But anyway, that's a known quantity. To have enough compost to make rich soil for the kelp farm, and then we'll have to make all that again for the tree farm. But that's a problem for another day. So blocks will replace this blocks, okay, as opposed to dropped items. Okay, cool. And then I think technically we did not need the item in our inventory to do that. So I think now, I was kind of expecting that would place the block. Perhaps this needs to be higher priority. Extraction lower priority first. No. Is that on insertion? Let's check this out. So, compost. So if we hear a sound, aha. Oh my. Please stop. Okay, interesting. So what have we learned? Why can I not click the annihilation plane? Aren't these filterable? is it bugged out, or did I do something wrong? Maybe I did something wrong. Is there a different kind of annihilation plane that I I was using when I was testing this out? Let's find out. AE2. Deprecated. Okay, formation plane. Storage bus. Export bus. Interesting. Can be enchanted. I am confused. Okay, let's try something really quick. Because I had this figured out in my creative world earlier, and now I don't apparently. So let's figure that out. Specifically, I recall having annihilation planes and then being able to click on them and tell them what they were breaking, and they would only break the kind of block that I put in. So perhaps I didn't put down annihilation planes, I put something else or something. I don't know. Well, I don't know what's different, but I'm going to find out. Ooh, so bright. So anyway, this is what we're building underground. It'll look cooler in place. Yeah, cool. Save the replay. So for those that haven't seen it, this is the creative super flat test world that I've been using to design builds and test things out. And over here, also, just using teleport to be able to get around is very nice. So this is what I was experimenting with before. ME Annihilation Plane. I know device channel's missing. It's still working though. Online. Wait, I'm confused. This was clickable before. I swear I clicked it before and it worked. Why is it? Oh, is this a tower thing? Oh, this is a... I am confused. Or was I clicking this? Device missing channel, it says. But... okay. Huh. So specifically, it's interesting, right? So like... see how the glass there is not being broken? I mean, that's because it doesn't have anything to put the items into, technically. Is that why that's working? I felt like... okay. Memory is fallible. So I guess the memory I have of doing the thing to configure the annihilation plane was actually a memory of changing the export bus or the storage bus. guess so. Okay. Well. Can't argue with what we're seeing right in front of us. Okay, so the problem at hand, though, is specifically that we want to have the annihilation plane only break the rich soil, right? So we want to place, and in fact, we can have this, and we can have the formation plane, and we can hey, look, you can configure this. We can put compost here. So my memory was of being able to do a very similar thing with the annihilation plane, but apparently that's not real. So formation plane's there. We have a compost. We just have to insert it. Oh, this has to be higher priority, right? So that when we insert it, it gets placed, right? So I think what we need is a what? Something to filter the annihilation plane so it doesn't have a place to send things to unless the thing is a rich soil. Yeah. So first of all, I see a cable here we're not using. Let me click that. Do I have a... Here's a storage bus. Let me borrow that. So... there should be a way. We should have some options. I just don't know exactly what's going to work here. So... let's see. What can we do? What can we do? We have this I/O port. Can this I/O port? No, that's connecting to a network. Like I think the annihilation plane is not going to work without it being connected to an ME controller. I don't want to build another ME controller and a whole other ME system just to do this. And I feel like there should be a way to make this happen without that. I just don't know exactly how that's supposed to work. Like we can't... Could we put a storage bus on the end of this? And then... Do we have an empty... Yeah, we have an empty storage unit. And be like, hey, put that in here. Input from the back. Like that's not going to work because it doesn't have power. What does the quartz fiber do? Nothing. Oh, hey, look. Now, that's promising. So what I was hoping the quartz fiber do, what it could do is essentially my hope, my dream, my wish for it was that it would allow us to connect it to the ME controller and like this would be part of the network without allowing items to flow. Although on the other hand, none of that really matters anyway because we should just set the priority of the storage bus to be really high. And then what we need to do is we need to, I guess we need compost. Or no, sorry, we need rich soil. We need rich soil so that we can put it and lock it on this. Although I guess what we could do is we could, here, have a bowl, lock, check. Now, why am I doing this? Well, my understanding is the speed in which the organic compost converts into rich soil is based on it being near other compost and rich soil, and I guess water too. Here, hold on. Let me get in there. Okay, do I have a bucket of water? Can I get a bucket of water? No and yes. All right. Yep, right here. Still there. Okay, so we need a water source under here. Hopefully speeds things up, maybe. I guess we can... Here, more compost. Hey, look, is it... Do we have mushrooms in our... Nope. Oh, well. Okay. So... I see a problem though, and the problem is that it seems like the placement of the compost is driven by inserting into the system. Like, let's say we broke this. The enemy system's not going to place another block there. And we'd like it to. I don't know if that's possible to do. Yeah, this kind of went beyond what I know about like this kind of setup, because as you saw in the creative world, what I had tested was more of a we use something else to generate the blocks, and then we just break whatever's there. I mean, an option, just use deployer and a crude storage unit and not use a formation plane. And so that will only place the block when there's a space for it. And that could still be scaled out. I kind of like that. It's simpler. It uses things I already know how they work to do. Let's see if we can make that happen. I guess we just need a deployer, yeah. And then all the other things. Okay. Oh, we don't have rubber in here because reasons. Brass hands. Okay. let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Maybe. Or maybe I'll keep it over here. Let's see. So we go here into there. Yeah, sure. So that goes there. I'm gonna give you that one compost. And then we're gonna get rid of the formation plane. Okay. And it goes. We're going to put crude storage unit. I guess we'll do it on the other side. So everything to do with this will be over here. There we go. And that goes. Lock it. Output to the back. Auto output. So it'll go in there. So then if we break this, oh, nothing happens because of course we need to supply power to this. Yeah. Sure. No problem. Gearbox, and a bunch of shafts. Probably a lot of shafts. Okay, so we'll just come off of this because we have lots of stress units to use on this. And we'll go over here. We already know we need to go into there. Hey, it places. That's good. And then put all that away, put that away, put that away. Input. That's all good. So now we're just waiting for I can't tell if any of those are changing, but it doesn't matter. It's nighttime. Let's sleep and we'll go grab a block of compost just so we can get this set up. And oh yeah, let's grab all the compost, or yeah, I said compost, but of course I meant rich soil, which is the end product that we're trying to automate. Of course, this is not going to be enough. I mean, earlier on in gameplay, if we would have set this up like this, or something like that, we could have used, I don't know what else we could have used. What's going on? Oh, it's the schematicannon. Yeah. So yeah, while we've been doing all this other stuff, the schematicannon's still been going. Still been doing its thing. What am I doing? Where am I going? We need to go the other way. We want some rich soil. I guess we could, let's go over to the smaller farm. What's gonna be faster? Flying down over there, or yeah, because the car's not here. Man, I'm still like just looking. Is the quadricopter that I lost somewhere here? Or is it just gone? I don't know. It doesn't matter now. I mean, I spent the resources to make another one. Which is not like it's that expensive at this point in the game. I got a few precision mechanisms, and I could make more. I have actually a lot of resources at this. Well, I have, relative to what I'm using, a lot of resources. There you go. One rich soil. also see that emerald every time I fly up. But it's fine right there. To see items fleeing through the air. Rapid speed. Okay. Maybe I should have made that a double door. Alright. Get our bowl back. Alright, we got a place for a rich soil. So if this ever converts into a rich soil, the annihilation plane should harvest it and throw it into our crude storage unit. And then the deployer will place the next one. We've already shown that that will happen. Do we see a difference here? Can we in F3? Is there a difference? Yes. Composting 2, composting 6. You can see right there on the right hand side. So stuff is happening. I guess maybe I don't know if water below helps, honestly. Like if we look at the U for this, right? So sped up by sunlight, sped up by adjacent water. Underneath is adjacent, right? Sped up by adjacent activators. C below. Organic compost. Okay. So it should be sped up somewhat. I guess, I don't know if this diagonal counts as adjacent. But we could put a block there. So when we see this, composting 4. Do we see anything about turtle shovel harvestable, tech reborn mineable drill? Lots of info on the block. Okay, well, I assume that by next stream this will have more than one block, and that'll be our success. Now we have, I don't know if we can actually see, maybe from the side, there's item. Oh, okay, weird that it said 2. Okay, 24, okay, great. So we should have like 24, 25, 26 rich soil in some amount of time. But, oh yeah, what was I saying before? So if we would have tried to automate this earlier on in the game, then maybe at this point we would just have tons. Maybe we would have been more encouraged to automate the other inputs. Maybe not though. And maybe that would have been time away from other things that got us to here. Anyway, doesn't matter. But if we do want, you know, like 10,000 rich soil, we're probably gonna have to scale this out. Maybe put this somewhere else. Maybe have a build dedicated to that. I don't know. But did we collect all the rice? Did we go through all that rice and turn it all into bone meal? Can you compost straw? You can. Do we want to do that? Probably not, because we're going to need a lot of straw still. It would be great if you could see, like, because these composting inputs give different amounts of bone meal, or there's a different probability that there is progress made in the composter based on the material. Interesting. You can turn straw into string. I think we knew that. So there's 2048. And do we have more crude storage units? facing the wrong way. So let's put the rest over here. So when both of these are 2048, that'll be enough for another 2048 compost. We do need more tree bark, but that's actually relatively easy to get because we have a tree farm already. We can just grab, you know, have to AFK over there really for it to be effective. Even with force chunks, it doesn't seem to want to work. We'll get there. We'll need eventually more dirt, but the main limitation here is bone meal. Let's just see. So a stack of straw. Yeah, that sounded like a lot of straw to make one bone meal. Yeah. So that was a stack of straw. And we made one bone meal, apparently. They're not going anywhere else, are they? No. Okay. Oh yeah, we're also... What I've been doing with the excess stripped wood is just turning it into charcoal, which is helpful for things, as we saw before with the black dye. Well, let's before we end the stream for today, let's go check on the schematicannon, see how it's been doing. Did it complete? Did it run out of gunpowder? Let's find out. Doesn't look like it's moving. Oh, no, it's still going. Still doing its thing. That's interesting. Interesting things you've been doing, schematicannon. I see. We are. We had 8,000. We're, you know, 3/4 of the way done. We got all this stuff in here still to do. Lots to do. Okay, so this takes a while, especially for it to void. Still a good amount of gunpowder. So hopefully this will get there. You think it's still working on... It's still working on the first layer, right? Hold on, let's top up the gunpowder. I think it may need it. Okay, well, this is gonna be here doing its thing. I'm glad this was the first thing we focused on in the stream. Although it unfortunately took a little bit longer than I was hoping. But that's just how it goes. Things take how long they take. And in terms of some of the big things I want to do in this pack in this world, this is kind of small. I think honestly in the future I might want to consider splitting the build into multiple pieces and then using multiple schematicannons to speed things up. That kind of presumes that we can generate the blocks necessary fast enough, which may be asking for a bit, but yeah. Okay. But that's going to be it for today. It's been fun, as always. I'm going to be streaming this again on Wednesday. And then back to Oxygen Not Included on Friday. And then just the usual schedule, basically. I think at some point in the next few weeks there may be some special things that will interrupt that schedule. But we'll have to see exactly how the timing of those things turn out when they happen. If you're watching this, thanks so much for watching. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.